Good afternoon, everyone. I have been hearing a lot about collaboration. We know it's easier to do things with others as a group than to do it all by ourselves. And that's why today I wanted to talk about how B2B brands can definitely grow faster when they enter into collaborative situations. But one of the kind of examples I wanted to tell happened to me recently. I had to meet someone in a ski lodge, and they said, Donna, I'll be wearing a blue jacket. Well, 80% of the people who are out skiing, it feels like, are wearing blue jackets. So it was really hard for me to find that one individual with a blue jacket on. But if they said, Donna, I'm in a group of 15 people who wear blue jackets, it would be a lot easier for me to find them. This is the same thing. You, as a B2B brand, can stand all by yourself, or you could enter into some collaborative situations where you're standing with a group of people and your brand will be seen by more people and you'll be able to stand out from your competition. So today I want to talk about collaboration, but specifically because a lot of you work in that industrial space, how do you stand out and who should you do collaborative projects with? Industry specific publications are a great way for industry products and services to join forces with them to get your name out there to a larger group of people who are in your wheelhouse. It's no good doing something collaboratively if most of that person's database would not be interested in what you have. So you've got to make sure you do a lot of research to find the right industry publications that reach your specific niche audience. Now, that takes a lot of work. And I know for a fact, a lot of times when we're doing our marketing, we just want to get something out there. Hurry up, get it out there. But if you stop for a minute and you really start to research specific publications or events that match your niche, that's when you can see the magic happen. That's when you start to dig into those publications or the events, find out what type of opportunities they have available. Possibly you could do a webinar with them. Maybe you could be interviewed by one of their CEOs. Maybe you could sponsor one of their events. You see, when you do it both together, not only does your message get out to your own database, but it'll get out to their entire database. And since you're doing all the research with these specific publications or events, you know you're reaching the right audience. Yesterday, I was sitting down with a new client and we were talking back and forth about return on investments and KPIs and how do we know if this is working. And one thing I am confident about is that if you do the research and you find where your specific audience is, no matter what the opens or the click rates are, it's going to be successful. It may not show immediately, but it will down the road because you're getting your message out in front of the right audience. You have to pay attention to building up your brand, letting people know that you are a thought leader in your space. Entering into collaborative things with different organizations really helps get your name out there. People will start to see you as a thought leader in the space. And as you talk to these prestigious other brands, their prestige kind of oozes into you and then raises your brand also. It's important to do that research to find the right industry publications and the events to work together. I know sometimes as a brand, and we've had that in World Innovators, we're like, no, we don't need to collaborate with anyone else. We can stand alone. We want to be our own company. We want to do it ourselves. And I get that. Even as an individual, I'm always like, I got this. I can do it by myself. But will it be done easier and more efficiently if I could join up or get the help of other people? Yes. And that's exactly what you're doing here because there's publications out there, like I said, they've got a podcast already. You could be a guest on that podcast. And that way your message gets out in front of their entire audience. Also, events. Events are a great way to grow your business. I know when COVID hit, everyone stopped doing in person events, and slowly people are going back to events. But what I'm seeing is with events is maybe they're not at the numbers they were pre-COVID, but you're getting a good quality title there of people. But I will say it's no longer just having a booth and handing out information. People want to go to a trade show and get real value. They want to get information that's important to them. They want to know how to implement or execute that information. As a speaker, when I speak at events, I always make sure that there's an implementation side to the speech. Whether we take the last 15 minutes of the speech, whether after the speech, 1 week later, I do a virtual event where each individual has started to implement what they learned during my speech. Because we all go to those trade shows. We sit there, we get these great ideas, we take tons of notes of what we're going to implement, but do we ever do it? Some of you might say, yeah, Donna, I do it. But do you do it for 100% of your ideas? That is why it's important to have that implementation side of it with your workshop so that people actually implement it. And that's why events are a great way for your brand to stand out, for people to get an idea of who you are, what you stand for, what your company mission is. Because we all know right now it's about building those relationships, making those connections so that your prospects will trust you. If they trust your brand, they will buy from you year after year. And that's going to help you with that nice continuous growth that we all want to see. But when you collaborate with other organizations, reaching more people, using some of their marketing channels, you're going to see your business grow even faster. So instead of being here, maybe now we're going to be, maybe this isn't working out. Instead of being here, now we're going to be up here growing our business. Have your marketing department, or if you have a good marketing consultant, research those industry-specific publications or events that would be most advantageous for your brand. Find out, where do those publications do extra distribution? What trade shows are those publications at? Do they align with the trade shows that your company will be at, or a trade show where it is definitely your wheelhouse? You get that extra distribution, you get some press releases out there, you do some webinars, you do some podcasts, and what you've got now is you've got that nice cohesive strategy where every place that person is looking, they see your brand, and they don't see it just with sales promotions, they see it with good, valuable content. Good, valuable content that they can use right away. And you give them that tidbit to make them implement it, because when they implement it, then they see the real value in it. And when they get that extra value from you, they start to trust you. They see you as a leader. You are a thought leader in your space, and they're going to want to work with you. So have your marketing department spend the time, do the research. If you're aligned with a marketing consultant, make sure the marketing consultant knows your space, especially when you're dealing with industrial brands. Industrial brands need to be marketed differently than a pair of skis or a general business to business product or service. Industrial brands are very specific niche. And because sometimes with industrial brands, the equipment or the services are so expensive, you're not going to sell them with simple social media posts. You need to have an assortment of different channels that constantly enhances your brand, that builds trust as you're forming these deep relationships. I would love to hear from you about how are you collaborating in 2024? What type of new channels are you going to start to implement to see how that takes off for you and gets your brand recognized? Please feel free to comment below, or you can send me an email to dpeterson@worldinnovators.com. I'd love to hear from you. And remember, get your marketing department to do all the research to make sure you align yourself with other brands that can help with that collaborative effort to grow your business. Also, if you use marketing consultants, make sure that they are working in the same space as you. They'll be able to bring you knowledge and experience that will save you time and money. Talk to you later, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.